It's Saturday again! So, real quick, before I actually start this video, I wanted to make sure that I could be seen, because I have to record on my phone, and so I needed to prop it up. And there was a giant glare right over here. And I went like this, and this on was gone because the sun was so bright, I had to put my sheet up. I'm gonna laugh so hard if this falls down during the video. And I'm gonna laugh even harder if I don't laugh when it falls down. So, with that being said, I hope you have your snack, your beverage, and you're nice and cozy because it's time for part 4 of my long story. So welcome to Saturday Stories, where I'm going to continue talking about how I was almost homeless. So in the last part of the story, son, don't you do that. In the last part of the story, we were getting into Jane and Brian and my godson, which I don't think I've actually mentioned, and Jack all living together. So I kind of like, when one would move out, I would move another in. Kind of that little pattern. Because obviously, if I'm kicking people out, I need other people to come in because I can't do it by myself. And so Rose, she said that she couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We can talk at a later time if if the opportunity came again where you could move in with us or whatever. And because Jane and Brian's car broke down, I was like, well, I'm just gonna kidnap you. I mean, you can't get home, so you have to stay somewhere. And so they ended up staying, and then we ended up planning a huge trip to just go up to where they live prior to moving in with me to get all of their stuff and bring it back. And everything in the beginning was great. All of our issues were with Jack and not there was like no other issues. When I wasn't around, he would do things like trip my godson and make him cry, and he wouldn't apologize for it. And, this is something that I wasn't told that had happened until after Jack and I had broken up. I had threw a spoon into the kitchen because I was lazy and didn't want to get up. And so I was like, I'll just throw this onto the counter. Boop. And because I threw it into the kitchen, I missed and it hit the wall. And when you're throwing something at the wall, it bounces off. So I hit the wall and it went whoop whoop. And because he was walking through the door when that happened, he took it as me throwing it at him. And I'm like, no, I was actually throwing it, before you were walking into the kitchen. I wasn't throwing it at you. But if it felt like that and it hit you, I'm sorry, because that's not what I was trying to do. There was another instance where my parents wanted us to come over for, I think it was Thanksgiving. And we were we wanted to do the every other holiday thing, where this holiday we'll go to my parents, and then next holiday we have, we'll go to yours, and kind of back and forth. And then the following year, we'll do the opposite. And, he was all okay with that. My parents had made plans and everything, and then the day that we were getting ready to actually leave the house to go to my parents' house, he gets a call from his mom, and his mom is inviting him to her event. And he starts talking about how, well, you go to your parents and I'll go to mine. And I'm like, my parents already bought enough food for you to be there. They've already purchased extra stuff so that you can be there too. We've already made a commitment to my parents to go to their house, so why are you backing out? You were supposed to tell your parents that, you know, you were coming to my parents for this, and that next time we'll go to theirs or whatever. And I'm a big believer in when you make plans, you fulfill those plans. You don't make plans and then make separate plans and then abandon your first plans. So, for a better example, in this scenario, we made plans with my parents, and then he made plans with his mom. He needs to go and finish the plans that he originally had because of things like, first of all, you already told them that you were going to do it. So, you know, they're looking forward to you being there. So not being there upsets them. You know what I'm saying? Or in the situation where you have to buy extra things in order to account for the extra person that's going to be there. And then you find out that, you know, they're not coming, and it's like, well, I just bought these things for this person specifically, and half the time you don't necessarily have the money to do that, but you're doing it for the occasion. So I just find that really disrespectful. Like, I went out, got excited because you were gonna come, and I spent money I didn't necessarily had to, you know, have these extra items for you to be there, and then you made plans. Literally when we're walking out the door to go to our first plans. Now, it's one thing if we made plans with my parents and then we got into an argument and we were uninvited, or, you know, something happened to where it's like, I'm not going anymore, whatever, and then you make other plans, okay. Or if the first plans got canceled and then you made other plans, then okay. But when you make plans and you're literally getting ready to go, you're showering, you're getting dressed, and you're, you know, grabbing what you're bringing to the party or to the event or to the area that you're going, and then you're walking out the door, and then you're like, oh, I'm making other plans, like right now. No, that's not how this works. So it caused a huge argument. He got fired, or he quit his job that he told me he had upon moving in. And so he wasn't going to work. He wasn't helping pay rent. He wasn't helping put food in the house. He wasn't helping with laundry. He wasn't helping, you know, with any of the bills at all whatsoever. He was not putting any money in. He said, when I get taxes, I'll help you. He got taxes. He didn't help. You know, and I had started to use my credit card thing, and, you know, so I was buying snacks for everyone so that everyone had, you know, something to eat when we didn't have food. You know, I would go out and I would buy food for the house. I would go out and we would go out to eat almost every day, and that it was really unhealthy. Or, you know, we would go to the store and we would buy, you know, whatever we wanted, and I spoiled everybody. And then obviously when my sister's Sweet 16 came around, I spoiled the heck out of her to make it a good birthday for her. And he actually admitted upon us breaking up that he was going to wait. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit before I say that. So what actually happened is he was the type of person, I'm gonna use my notebook. Now, actually, I'm gonna use this lotion. So he was the type of person where you're sitting on your phone, you're texting, and even if the back of the phone is to the door, someone walks in and you go like this. And then they go to leave and you kind of like pull it out, and then if they come back in, you like, oop. Or if the phone is literally like in front of you or it's right next to you and someone goes to sit down but they don't want to sit on it and they go to move it, he's the type of person to be like, if that does not seem shady to you, what does? Because what are you doing? If my phone died and I needed to use his phone for whatever reason to like make a phone call or to let someone know that, hey, my phone died, I'll message you later, or whatever the case would be, he never wanted to let me use his phone. He always had to be the one to do it. And that seemed really shady to me. So my friend Jane was in my room talking to Jack and I, and there was a moment where she picked up my phone and just started going through it. Her and I have that connection where we both have the same insecurities about people keeping secrets from us, or people not telling us, the full truth or whatever. And at any moment, both her or myself can literally pick up the other person's phone and just start using it. And we're not going to question each other because there's nothing on our phones that we have to hide from each other. And Jack made a comment about that. And I said, well, you can't talk about that because I can't do this sort of thing with you. And he was like, what do you mean? Yes, you can. I was like, okay, give me your phone then. And he hesitated. He was like, I'm not giving you my phone. I was like, give me your phone then, because if you don't and you can't trust me to have your phone, then that just goes to prove my point. So, to be cocky, for lack of better words, he went ahead and unplugged his phone and gave it to me. The first thing that I saw on his phone was from a message from this other chick telling him, "Good night, baby, I love you." And then right off the bat, his phone message popped up saying that his phone was about to die and you need to plug it in. And my face dropped, first of all, when I looked at it. And he quickly snatched it out of my hands. It was one of those moments where he got caught and someone was walking in the door. And he was like, oh my God, let me fumble my phone. No, he fumbled the phone out of my hands and he threw it in his pocket. And so I, of course, called him out on that. I was like, are you serious right now? What is this? And he didn't want to talk about it at all. He was like, no, nothing. It just has to charge. So he took it out of his pocket and he put it back on the charger. And I was like, let me see your phone. What did that say? Because I wanted to double check what it had said and he didn't want to tell me. And then he thought to tell me, oh, I was just telling her how we say goodnight. I'm sorry. First of all, person A, person B, they say goodnight to each other. Both person A and person B are gonna know how they say goodnight to each other. So when you're trying to tell someone that you're cheating is them telling you or them telling someone else how you and them say goodnight, person B is gonna know that you're lying. Because none of that is how we ever said goodnight. None of it. And you want to know why? Because we never said goodnight. And 9 times out of 10, he was always asleep before I could say goodnight, or I love you, or whatever. So yeah, I would know that that's not how we say goodnight. So on what planet does he think that that lie is gonna slide with me right now? Like, hi baby, how was your day? Oh yeah, we were just telling each other how you and I say goodnight. But you didn't say goodnight, you said good morning. So anyways, I kicked him out of my apartment and Jane was just sitting there on my bed like, what just happened? Like, she witnessed it all. She felt very uncomfortable, so she just like left the room. And I got so like sick, I guess you want to say, that I literally left the apartment, went downstairs, and threw up in the outside trash can. Because it's one thing to cheat on someone and to lie to them, but it's another to do both of those things at the same time and use you for everything. And upon me breaking up with him, he told me, I was gonna tell you, but I just feel like I'm being abused. And everyone, like Jane, Brian, their friend, me, we were all looking at him like, abuse? When did I ever abuse you? Never. And they were like, what are you talking about? This is, you know, do you know who you're dating right now? Like, what? And he was like, yeah, when you threw a spoon at me. And all of our jaws just dropped. Like, she wasn't throwing the spoon at you. She was throwing it into the kitchen. And you happened to be walking through the kitchen. What are you... It hit the wall. And it bounced off the wall. And hit the floor. It never hit you. First of all. Second of all, I was just lazy and didn't want to get up. No, I shouldn't have thrown the spoon at all, whether it was at him or in the direction of anything else. But, seriously? Seriously? And then he went on to say, well, I was gonna wait until you helped me pay for school, because he wanted to be a truck driver. So he wanted me to pay for him to go and have that training so that he can be a truck driver. And he wanted to continue to allow me to pay for it until after he graduated and can go become a truck driver. And he wanted to wait until I was able to pay for the entire thing. For the truck, for his training, for the whole 9 yards. He wanted me to pay for it. And then after he done that, his plan was to break up with me and go get his girlfriend, whose name is Noelle, by the way. It's an actual name. I will flat out her name in this video, because don't leave it up to them to ruin that beautiful name for me. Whew, it's not ruined anymore. But I absolutely love that name. And so the fact that that is her name, I think I hated that just as bad as the whole situation. So he did not stay there very long. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And the fact that he was using me for my house, for my money, for my food, and all of that I worked hard to go and earn. And, you know, all of this and that he wasn't planning on paying me back, and literally admitting to me that he was using me is just, it made me sick. So, obviously, that's not the end of the story, because I haven't told you how I was almost homeless yet, but this all is leading up to the grand finale of that being there. So there is going to be a part 5. So if you would like to come back and see the continuation of this long story, be sure to like, comment, and hit the subscribe button so that you can do that. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye!